Chapter 4. Sergeant Lester Learns to Kill. Church Lester was one of the 1,390,000 American troops and sailors who saw active combat service in World War I. The spark that started the war was ignited on June 28, 1914, with the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austrian-Hungarian throne, by a member of the Serbia Secret Society. 1 month later, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. Russia, bound to a treaty with Serbia, mobilized its vast army. Germany backed her ally, Austria, to the limit by declaring war on Russia August 1st. France, bound by her treaty to Russia, declared war on Germany August 3rd. Germany invaded neutral Belgium August 4th to open a quick path to Paris. Later that same day, England declared war over Germany to honor her pledge to defend Belgium. In just a little over a month, all of Europe was at war. President Woodrow Wilson proclaimed American neutrality, even though America favored Britain, France, and the others who were referred to as the Allies. A German U-boat sank the Cunard liner Lusitania off the coast of Ireland on May 7, 1915, and 1,100 civilian men and women, including 128 Americans, died. By this time, many American leaders were calling for the United States to enter the war. By mid-1916, leaders decided to strengthen Americans' military, starting a large and ambitious ship and munitions building program. America significantly strengthened her armed forces to both manpower and equipment. By late 1916, every European nation was being bled to death. The German army had beaten Russia badly, but at the cost of 1 million German lives. Germany was tied down in trench warfare in France against the French and British armies, with extremely heavy losses on both sides. On March 18, 1917, a German U-boat sank 3 unarmed American merchant ships without warning, causing a heavy loss of life. 2 weeks later, on April 1, 1917, Great Britain intercepted and decoded a secret dispatch from Germany to Mexico, which proposed a German alliance against America. Mexico was to get Texas, Arizona, and New Mexico, and her share of the loot. This was the final blow. The terrible war had dragged on for 3 long years before America joined the conflict by declaring war on Germany on April 6, 1917. Church joined the U.S. Army on October 5, 1917, at age 24. It was probably late 1917 or early 1918 when Church and his Tennessee cavalry arrived in France, where they were thrown into trench warfare with the Germans. Because of his marksmanship and willingness to fight, he was promoted to sergeant on February 5, 1918. He saw considerable action as his cavalry unit fought the Germans in the trenches of France. This type of warfare included rifles, dugouts, barbed wire tangles, concrete emplacements, poisonous gas, and the lethal power of cannon fire. Church and his comrades had no armor to protect them except their steel helmets. To charge over the top of their trenches to take an enemy trench by assault was near suicidal, but with the worn-down Germans and the influx of fresh American soldiers, the Allies proceeded to slowly push the Germans northward, out of the heart of France, and back toward the German border. Church was an excellent marksman with both rifle and pistol and was given high honors as a sharpshooter during the war. This deadly war mercifully came to a close on November 11, 1918. Church was discharged 8 months after the war was over, on July 20, 1919. His discharge papers listed his character as excellent. Years later, the words Tennessee Cavalry were placed on Church's tombstone. While Church was in boot camp preparing to be shipped to Europe, all soldiers were told that after they were shipped overseas, they could not tell anyone about their location, the mission of their unit, or anything pertaining to future plans. They were also told that all their letters would be read by an officer and, if necessary, censored. The sergeant outsmarted the censors. While home on a furlough prior to being shipped to France, Church told his parents his letters would be censored, and he instructed them to apply heat to the back of the page in order to read the more interesting parts of his future letters. On the back of the page, he wrote unclassified material with regular ink. On the front of the page, he wrote unclassified material with regular ink, but on the back of the page, he wrote with a colorless aluminum-based writing fluid which was invisible at ordinary temperatures but could be read when heat was applied. As a result, Church's family knew where he was, all about the action of his unit and when they were moving locations. He was a very intelligent man. Church told of his time he and his unit captured some German soldiers. He said he led the captured Heinies back behind the line where he shot and killed them. The war and the killing of captured Germans evidently desensitized Church to killing at an early age. He was remembered as lying in the grass outside the Red Hill Church, where he told of killing Germans in World War I and other men. After arriving home from the Army, Church always carried his Army's .45 pistol. One time when Church was home from boot camp on a furlough, his mother Mary planned a big dinner for all the family. Mary asked Church to kill 2 chickens for the dinner. He demonstrated his marksmanship. Church took a mirror out where the chickens were eating in the yard, turned his back on them, and while holding the Army .45 pistol over his shoulder and sighting in the mirror, he said he shot and killed 2 chickens with only 2 shots. During his World War I service, Church sent his mother money he saved from every paycheck, which over time became a tidy sum. When he came home from the war, Mary returned all the money to him.